Right. Here's one of Bill's rooms. Bill is this is a shrine to Bill. He died recently, and he was married to my mum for about 35 years. He's a lovely guy. We'll talk about him later. He was in a James Bond film. Great actor. A fantastic guy. He was a big fan of this guy. Has Elvis Presley, and okay, now my dad John, he basically is. They both went to Harrow, John and his brother Ben, and they adopted me. And then John, in the photo you'll see on the left, he is basically the Beatles. They're both the Beatles. Okay, now now Elvis Presley knew my dad John, who adopted me. Now Elvis said, "I want." He loves John, right? Yeah, Elvis loves John. I mean, everyone loves John, right? He's a great guy. Um, Elvis loved John, and he said, "I'm going to adopt your boy too." And he adopted me. Elvis Presley adopted me, and then he wrote a song called "My Boy." It's about me, and we're the Essex Boys. In this photo, you'll see in Camden, in the centre of Camden, is a restaurant that used to be a bistro, a very good French restaurant, something like you get in central London now in Covent Garden, like a very top French restaurant. You don't have anything like that in Camden right now. Okay, so I used to work in this restaurant. I was about 21 and I was a barman there, and I used to work with the kitchen staff, really top restaurant chef people and that kind of thing. So I worked in restaurants for okay about 7 or 8 to 10 years, in and around that area, Camden Town, Hampstead, and especially this restaurant in Camden Town, right in the centre, and it's now this Chinese buffet. Now, I need you to look at this. It's very, very important. Okay, so this restaurant is the restaurant trade, right? It was basically a bustling restaurant like every other restaurant in England. Okay, there's this one was a very good one, and it was like no different to any other very good restaurant. And it is basically, did you know, it is actually the farming industry, right? So the farming industry, they own all the restaurants, and it's McDonald's, right? So all these restaurants, high class or low class, it's McDonald's, right? The farming industry, right? Now, I worked in a restaurant trade for years, right? And I never met a bad guy there, right? I worked in a lot of people, all chefs and all types of staff, really good female chefs. I love them dearly, and they're great people. Nothing wrong with them. However, there are bad people in the farming industry that own the restaurants, right? So, and I met one of them. And I said, yes, I did. And I was working at this restaurant in Camden Town, Bistro K, one of the best restaurants in London at the time when I was 21, and I was working there before I went to art college and then theatre college. I was working in this restaurant for a couple of years, and I had a girlfriend there. She was a really nice Australian. She was a chef, and we fell in love and became a couple for a few years. And we worked together in the same restaurant. And I had some other staff there who were all really cool. And then I met a guy. Right now, uh, I he was upstairs, that was where all the meat was going on in the restaurant. And this guy was extremely violent when I went up there, right? And he was like bigger than Tyson Fury, and he was British, but doesn't matter where he's from. He was bigger than Tyson Fury, and he was attacking something really bad with a fucking big meat cleaver, and he was going at it like an animal. Right now, he was actually the farming industry, and when he's doing that, he knows who I am, and he's going for the girls. Right now, he's doing that, right, and he's a monster. He's probably in prison. Like, I mean, they just don't like people like that in prison either. He's a monster. And so he's working in this restaurant, and he's the only guy I've met, but he's actually the figure of the farming industry. And he was butchering this something with a big fucking cleaver. He was going at it like an animal. And all I can say is he has got a mate. He wasn't there at the time, but he has got a mate. He's very, very big too. And he's going, "What the fuck are you doing to this guy?" And he's going, "You fucking perf," at him, right? That's there you go. See, he's the gay community. Exactly. You see, these guys saying he's the gay community. He's saying, "You fucking perf," like, and then he's kind of coming at him, like, "Oh, good." And that's just, so this restaurant where that's going on is the farming industry, and he's doing his butchering of, he's going for the girls, white girls actually, and he's now filled France with Africans. And this restaurant shows you who's actually doing it. It's actually the farming industry, these huge guys secretly doing this behind your back. And the upper classes, they're there butchering middle and working class people, nothing to do with what you look like. Even your size is just it's insignificant. But the truth is, it is a sizism war, and he was huge. He was huge, and everyone else is too slim for him. He's actually into homosexual anal sex. This is what they're doing, right? It's homosexual upper classes. He's sent by the upper classes that are running the farming industry. Okay, so I'm working in this restaurant. I meet this guy. He's basically the butcher end of the farming of the restaurant world, and they're literally animals, right? They're doing this to people, my friends. They're going for hippies, right? And they're doing this all over the place. They're running immigration right now. Okay, so this restaurant will show you who is doing this, right? It's showing you it's a Chinese. The Chinese are behind this butchering of women, hippies, in the UK and especially France. France now is now full of Africans since that restaurant was open. When that restaurant and me and that restaurant were working there, we had no problems in France like it is now. Really, really bad. It's appalling. I was crying when I was there. I was there for a few weeks. It's appalling. I can't. We'll talk about that later. Okay. So that restaurant will describe how what they're doing in France. Who's doing it in France? It's your Chinese restaurants, your Chinese takeaways, and they're butchering the women. All right, you can't say they're not. You might not see it, but you'll see it there in that restaurant. And I want you to see it in Camden Town. And I took a photo of it. There you go.